I'm Augustus, and I'm traveling the United States to demonstrate exactly how serious I am about becoming President of the United States in 2028. I'm here in Santa Fe today. This is the City Different, where the ancient history of the Pueblo people meets the high desert light that has inspired artists for generations. If you want to see how the future is really taking shape, quit staring at the maps made by people who've never been here. Come see what's growing in the soil they've already written off, right here in the oldest capital in the country, where the Sangre de Cristo Mountains watch over a culture that was thriving long before this nation was a thought on a map. I'm standing in front of the New Mexico State Capitol, the Round House. It is the only round Capitol building in America, designed in the shape of the Zia sun symbol. It's a building without a dome, meant to represent the circle of life. 4 winds, 4 seasons, 4 directions, and 4 sacred obligations. But for far too many New Mexicans, this circle has become a closed loop, a place where the political ring protects its own, and where the voices from the South Side or the northern Pueblos are often left out in the cold while the well-connected stay warm inside. Today is day 14 of my 50+1 Capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but behind me in these circular walls and for other presidential candidates, it could be considered crazy. The plan is to visit every capital in this country, including Honolulu and Juneau, over the course of about 60 days. Not to give motivational speeches, but to listen to the people, and hopefully to truly hear what problems the general public need fixing. New Mexico is a land of enchantment, but it's also a land of hard realities. From the high mesas of the Taos to the oil fields of the Permian Basin, this state is built on a complex tapestry of cultures that have survived by being resilient. To lead in New Mexico, one must respect the sovereign roots of the 19 pueblos, the deep history of the Spanish land grants, and the modern brilliance of the scientists at Los Alamos. To be the leader of the whole country, you have to actually know the whole country. You cannot lead a people you do not know, and you cannot know the people from inside a speeding motorcade, a high-flying jet, or a gilded office. To be the leader of the whole country, you actually have to know the whole country. You have to breathe in the crisp fall air of the Northeast, feel the heat of the South and the dry wind of the Southwest, and stand in awe on the Great Plains. You need to admire the magnificent views of the Pacific Coast Highway, cross the mighty Mississippi, and traverse the passes of the rugged and majestic Rockies. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 states at least once before, I feel I have a glimmer of understanding of who the people of the United States truly are. But you can never stop learning, so I'm visiting each state again. And I plan to do this over and over again during the course of my campaign and during my presidential term. Now, you might be thinking, who is this guy? Why him? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 64 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents and Congresses come and go. I've seen industries rise and fall. And I've watched as the people who keep this nation functioning, the teachers, the healthcare workers at Christus St. Vincent, the artisans on the plaza, are treated like line items, not people. But is he qualified, you may be wondering? The Constitution says I am. The more important question is, how do I decide for myself if someone is qualified? For me, being qualified means that a person is working as hard as they can to help the most people possible. So look at the people who currently meet in the Roundhouse and in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified by that standard? How many of them are actively working to make your housing more affordable or your water more secure? It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of the job, remembering who they represent. They shouldn't represent the lobbyists, they shouldn't represent their party, and they definitely should not represent the ultra-rich. Your representatives, including the President of the United States, should represent you, period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat their employees like disposable parts, not for the ultra-rich who view the law as a suggestion, not for the special interests who think their way is the only way. I believe in a land of opportunity, not a land of out-of-reach signs and rising costs that push locals out of the very cities their families built. Why consider an unconventional, unaffiliated candidate like me? Maybe it's because you're exhausted. You're sick of being forced to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, 2 sides of the same coin, neither of whom has ever walked a mile in your boots. The motto of New Mexico is Crescit Eundo. It grows as it goes. It's a reminder that progress is a journey, not a destination, but for far too long it feels like the only things growing are the barriers between the government and the governed. It's time we return to a government that values the character of its citizens. It's time to ensure that the somebody in everybody is somebody in New Mexico actually includes the person working 2 jobs just to stay in Santa Fe. I'm headed to Phoenix, Arizona tomorrow. I have many miles and many state capitals ahead of me. If you see me on your state house steps, don't just take a picture. Come over and say hello. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you on the steps where you live.
Presto. Oh, it worked. It worked. It worked.
Oh yeah, it's working. I'm here with
Brian.
Brian and I are here in front of the beautiful Santa Fe, New Mexico roundhouse, the most beautiful, I think, one of the most beautiful state houses in the country.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta agree with that one. That's so interesting.
What do you think is the most beautiful?
Utah. Have you been to Utah, their capital yet? Salt
I
Lake City?
have, but it was years ago.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
This one's like
This is round though.
this is unique.
Yeah.
I would say this is unique.
Yeah.
Oh, not this best, but it's definitely unique.
Okay. Well, there's I mean, there are lots of others. There's I mean, all.
You've said you've been to 26. I've not been to 26.
I've been to all of them. No,
you've
in
been to every single-
2002.
you know so much more than I would. Then.
In
At that point, I've not been in that many.
in
I'd say maybe
2002, went to all of them before, but I'm doing it again because of the presidential thing.
Gotcha.
Because I think that if you're going to be president of the country, you have to know the country.
That's good. I like that.
Right?
I like that. Yeah, the more places you see, the more experience you have. The more people you talk to, you actually get a feel of what's it like.
And I'm 64. I know I look 65, but I'm 64.
I would say like 32.
Oh, you're very sweet, Brian. Oh, thanks so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I've lived in 7 states, 5 countries. So I think I know a little bit about the world and about people. So
I think so. Yeah. I've been 3 places now. Yeah.
Well, hey.
California, Colorado, Utah. Yeah.
Nice,
Good,
nice. Yeah. I lived in California for most of the 90s. Lived in Texas for 4 years. Lived in North Carolina for 10. Born and raised in New York State. Went to high school in Massachusetts. We've had a house in Maine since forever. The one I shouldn't count is my father had a sabbatical in Illinois one year.
Oh,
and so we were there for a year, but I was 5 years old. So
it counts. I would check it off the list.
Yeah,
It still works.
Yeah. But then I've lived in 5 countries too, and
really?
speak a bunch of language. What was the first one? I know it. United States. I lived in the United States.
Oh, I've heard of that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. U.S., England, France, Costa Rica, and China.
Oh, holy cow! Was that just all with family?
No.
Oh.
Let's see. Here's obviously all the living I've done here. England was with my mom. France was with the school. China was teaching English there, and Costa Rica was there. This is 1984. I'm going to turn this off because I got to save the battery.
Yeah, no, sorry.